Today it was a wonderful day for this interview because it was the birthday of my hero, my childhood and continuing on adult hero.
Right. Who is that hero?
It's the 543rd birthday, Nicholas Copernicus.
Ah.
And in fifth grade, there was 28 kids in our class, and we were given the assignment of, we were given it each day on the calendar in the month of February. Each one of us were responsible for finding somebody who was born that day, what significance. Well, I ended up picking Copernicus. And ever since then, I've always celebrated his birthday on February 19th. What impressed me the most at that age was he took a licking and kept on ticking, as I'd put it. He was confronted by in so many different directions. You remember my favorite phrase, know what it is that you know, that you know that you know, and know that everything else you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The most famous phrase by Copernicus is, I'll read it, to know that we know what we know, and to know that what we do not know, we do not know. That is true knowledge. I get a lot of grief for using unusual words, but actually this is more scientific than anything else. This is a key thing. If you assign a name for a known phenomena to unknown phenomena, you're biasing your observations. For example, you see this hazy atmosphere above the ground, and you say it's smoke. Well, then you're automatically assuming fire is the cause.
Mm-hmm.
And so I use the word fumes. They could be chemical fumes. They could be fumes from a fire. They could, it doesn't specify what it is. And then there's these orange glowing things that look like they're probably pipes that were glowing orange. I call them Cheetos. I don't know what it is. It's not something glowing red hot because I don't have a thermocouple on it to determine what temperature it is.
Right.
And in my book, I give the example of a fluorescent light and an incandescent light. One glows because it's hot, and one isn't hot. You could change the light bulb on the fluorescent one without burning your hands, but you wouldn't do that on an incandescent bulb.
Yeah.
It's a different process that's producing the brightness. So just because it's glowing does not mean that it's hot.
Good point. And I do like those different terms you use. I think it makes it easier to understand some of this complex stuff.
And it really is the most scientific because we don't know. You don't say that hot glowing, pipe over there. If I call it a Cheeto, you're not going to confuse that with a piece of food, but it's an easy term to remember. And so you can identify this as this glowing orange piece of stuff. And I'd like to read the definition of scientific method.
Please.
By Professor Eric Larson. He says, the scientific method, as it came into being during the Enlightenment period, is a method known as empiricism, or as the empirical method. Under the terms of empiricism, all conclusions are, must, and can be drawn from observable evidence, and from observable evidence only. Evidence must precede any and every conclusion to be drawn from it. Then, if sound logic governs in the relationship between the evidence and the conclusion drawn from it, that conclusion will be irrefutable.